Hello, this is Paul, and I am actually here at Cedar Ridge Winery and Distillery in Swisher, Iowa, and I'm here with Murphy Quint, and Murphy is the Director of Operations here, and he's going to go over with us their pretty unique Solera Vat system for their American single malt whiskey that they distill here. So that being said, Murphy, did you want to tell the viewers a little bit about what you guys do here, who you are at Cedar Ridge?
Yeah, absolutely. So, like you said, I'm Murphy from Cedar Ridge Winery and Distillery in Swisher, Iowa. We've been at this since about 2005. Late 2005 we opened up. And we do a number of things here. We started out really focusing on wine, but over the years we've really developed a passion for whiskey and therefore really increased our output in the whiskey side of things. So a lot of people these days know us more as a whiskey distillery than anything else, but a whiskey distillery that has a lot of wine influence, and we'll get into that more when we talk about our Solera here. But like I said, we do a number of things from whiskey to wine to vodka, gin and rum. We kind of dabble in it all. And yeah, today we're really just focusing on the single malt Solera.
So here they are, right? So you have two.
That's correct. Yep, we have two, and this one is kind of the one that we're focusing on today. This is our single malt Solera, and this one is actually currently for our dark rum. However, I'll give you a little teaser that we've never really told anyone. We're talking a lot about transferring the rum out of this and creating a second single malt Solera that has been conditioned with rum.
Oh wow,
so
that sounds amazing.
A rum-themed second Solera.
Kind of like a Solera finish.
That's
Instead
exactly
of a barrel finish, a Solera finish.
exactly. Yeah, that gives it a unique treatment to finish out. That's correct.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Something that we're kicking around right now.
So, how many barrels do you typically put in a batch into the Solera? Well, there's the original batch, because you only guys drain half at a time, right?
That's correct. So yes, when we originally filled it, it was roughly 23 barrels that went into it. But as you mentioned, when we bottle it, we bottle halfway down, and then we fill it back up. We bottle halfway down and fill it back up. So that way the mother batch and the previous fills are always present. They never truly go away. So when we do fill it back up, it's roughly 10 barrels that we will add back to it to add new character, new flavors, and basically just further our Solera.
And now, speaking with Murphy a little prior to we started doing this video, and so it sounds like sometimes you get some peated malted barley, so there's a little bit of peat in here maybe.
That's exactly correct. So not in every fill, but I would say about every other fill we'll throw 1 barrel of peated in there. So the peated content will vary, but some batches, it's been noticeable, and in other batches it's just kind of been in the background. But here in June we will be adding a new barrel of peat in our next fill, so it'll be present again.
Yeah, I'd really be looking forward to getting a batch right after your next peated fill goes in.
I'm a peated guy myself,
yeah.
so I'm looking forward to that.
So once this is done, well, I guess first off what I should ask is the age of the barrels that's going in. What typically, is there a typical age that it's in barrels before it goes into the vat?
That's a great question. So how we usually do it is everything that goes in there is going to be roughly 4.5 years old. That's the average. But for the first 2 years, we're going to age all that single malt whiskey in a standard American oak cask, a new American oak cask. And then it's going to get transferred, after 2 years of aging, it's going to get transferred to a secondary cask, which is usually something like an ex-wine barrel, ex-brandy barrel. As you've seen today, we even dabble in some ex-sherry casks, Madeira casks, really something that's going to fancy it up a little bit and contribute more flavor to our Solera system. So it originally sits in, it's American oak cask for 2 years, transfers to something else for roughly 2.5 years. At times, we will take barrels up to a full 5-year age. Usually those are the peated casks. Peated malt takes a little bit longer to mellow out, so those need about 5 years.
So you're fulfilling the requirements for American whiskey to be aged 2 years and the new American oak, and then you're finishing it in multiple different casks to get a variety. Then it's going in, and then it's getting mixed in with what's already in here, and then it's aging in there for a little while. That's pretty amazing.
It's a very complex process. It's one of the more innovative things that we do here. It's definitely not the most efficient way to make a single malt whiskey, but that's not something that we really care about. I mean, we want to be efficient, but it's much more about the art and the product that we're trying to create. So we do it this way because we feel it makes the best whiskey for us.
Now, once it comes off of here, I mean, strictly speaking, the single malt, is there any chill filtration that goes on or anything like that after it's coming out before you bottle?
Strictly speaking, single malt, yes. Single malt will actually be the only whiskey we make that we do chill filter. We bottle our single malt at 80 proof, and if it's below anywhere from 86 to 90, if you're not in that range, you're going to want to chill filter it because otherwise it'll end up hazing over on you. So in order to prevent having a haze, we do give it a quick chill filter.
So now I'm no expert. I've never posed myself as an expert. I'm learning. That's part of this is for me to learn, and I figured I might as well take all of you with me as I learn. So there's varying degrees of chill filtering, aren't there? So it's kind of more of a on the lighter side of the chill filtration that you're doing instead of heavily.
That's correct. And honestly, it's kind of a stretch to even call it a chill filter. I'm talking overnight. We just bring the temperature down in one of our stainless steel tanks. It's not like it's sitting for weeks, at 40 degrees or anything like that. So it's just a very quick overnight cool down.
And then you've got another question, the Alcohol and Tobacco Tax and Trade Bureau, TTB. I know for straight bourbon whiskey, we're talking American whiskey, straight bourbon and straight rye, they allow no additives. But if it's not straight, then like maybe, I need your help with this, with your single malt. If it's not those things, then you can do up to 2.5% of additives, like maybe caramel coloring, the E150A or whatever. So is there anything with your single malt, any additives going into it?
So no, we don't do any additives to any of our whiskeys, any of the Cedar Ridge brand whiskeys. We try to, all the flavor profile comes from the mash, the distillation, and then the barrel aging. So no additives in any of those. As far as being a straight whiskey, I believe you're right. I can't remember, it's 2.5% or 3% that you're allowed to add if you're not a straight whiskey. But anyway, getting back to Cedar Ridge, we technically are not a straight whiskey because we haven't put a straight designation on our label. We qualify as a straight whiskey because we don't do any additives and we do meet the minimum age requirements. But if you do want to call yourself a straight whiskey and you're aged under 4 years, which like our bourbon, our rye, our wheat, they're all aged less than 4 years. If you want to call yourself a straight whiskey and you're under that 4-year mark, you have to have an age statement on the bottle. So the youngest whiskey in this bottle is this many years, this many months old. And so just to kind of avoid that whole thing, we haven't designated ourselves a straight whiskey. But like I said, we do meet the qualifications.
Okay, yeah, great. And just curious, from your perspective, do you see yourselves as craft whiskey producers? And if so, why?
That's a great question. It's something I get asked fairly regularly, and I never know that I have the perfect answer to it. The word craft is really hard because craft technically does not have a definition, or at least a legal definition. There's nothing that's black and white that says whether a distillery is craft or not. And I really love the art side of craft whiskey and the fact that people are trying to make the highest quality product that they can make. But along the way, that term really got ruined by marketing practices and people, just trying to sell more whiskey. Which
anybody can just say they're craft.
So, you could make any whiskey and say that it's a craft whiskey handmade from scratch, and it doesn't necessarily have to be. So the word has kind of lost its meaning, and that's a bummer.
Yeah, that's unfortunate.
For me personally, I will call our whiskey a craft. One, we're making it from grain. We're mashing it here. We're doing the whole process. In our distillations, we're fractioning it out. We're taking heads, hearts, tails, cuts. It's not a continuous column still or anything like that. The way that I explain it to people, in my opinion, is our whiskey is made more by humans rather than machines. We're using the machines, but it's under human control. And I would consider a craft whiskey more of a original painting versus a print. There's going to be variations in each batch that we release, depending on how we made it, depending on who was making it, where it was aging, stuff like that. Whereas some of the more mass-produced whiskeys that come out of continuous column stills, they're going to taste almost the same every time. And there's nothing wrong with that. I just prefer something that has small variances that I can study. And I feel like that's a little bit more on the artistic side. And so for that reason, I would call our whiskey a craft whiskey, just in my opinion.
Yeah, and those places are probably just a handful of people working there. Everything's automated.
Well,
this is very hands-on here.
Yeah. In other settings, it can definitely be more button pushing and lever turning rather than actually you know, using your sensory skills and going off your own skill set. You know, there are some differences there, but
Yeah.
I do recognize that whiskey can be made very well both ways.
And then your family owns a farm north of here, and you grow corn there, and that's where you are sourcing your corn for your bourbon that you do. So
That's correct.
you're locally sourced, and of course you use an American barrels that come from Missouri, I think, which is where I'm from.
Yeah.
So yeah, I would call you guys a craft
Hey, thanks.
whiskey producer for sure.
I appreciate that. I appreciate
Yeah,
that.
sure.
Like I said, it's a word that, you know, no one really knows how to feel about these days, which is unfortunate, but I would certainly like to consider ourselves craft.
And then just to kind of wrap things up, I know you're busy. I really appreciate the time
Oh,
that
I'm
you've
glad to
given
hear it.
us. So, being that you're right now in front of some prospective customers, what are 3 things that you would like to say to them, or anytime you're in front of prospective customers?
3 things. Let's see if I can come up with 3. One for sure. The first thing I would say is explore whiskey. Go out there and try all different types of whiskey. There's a whole world out there that not many people have been exposed to yet. And you know, why sell for one? Even ours. Don't just sell for ours. Please try it. But you know, get out there and try something that's got peat in it. Try something that's wine influenced. Try something that's a Solera style. Just try them all. You know, to pick one whiskey and settle with that forever is like having one meal for the rest of your life.
Right,
rather than
absolutely.
changing it up. So get out there and explore it. It's really fun. You know, second, I would say just appreciate it in its art form. I mean, a lot of these whiskeys, especially today, there's you know, major artistic influence behind them. There's people going for certain flavor profiles rather than just ramming it through the still. So appreciate the art, and 3, enjoy with friends. You know, just always find something you like, take it to your next party, share it with your friend, get other people interested in this world too. Like I said, there's a lot going on in it, and it should be explored.
Yeah, I'm relatively new to this. Like I said, I'm certainly no expert, and I'm still learning. And once I got into this, I just went down the rabbit hole, and now that's all I want to do in my personal time, and that's what I'm doing here. So, yeah, Murphy, thank you very much. I
Thanks
really
so much.
appreciate it. That's about all we have for today. Hopefully, you will have us back, and we can explore, do some other videos in the future, explore other things you're doing here, the wine end, maybe the bourbon end, maybe get into your stills and all that stuff. We'll have you back.
You're welcome
So,
anytime, and
all
I
right.
really appreciate you coming.
All right, awesome, thank you. That's it for now. I just want to say I hope some of this can help you enjoy your whiskey, and of course, drinking in style includes being responsible while you're drinking, so drink in style and be responsible about it. And thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.